Somebody shot my dad. I get the killer mentality. I come from murder and tragedy. Single parent home and family. Do this shit for my whole family. I'ma go get me a Grammy. You know that I'm missing you, granny. Backbone to my whole family. I got this time for the family.
The other thing is, and I want to get your take on this because sometimes, we had this discussion a lot of times in the violence intervention prevention world and the work that you do. Like, sometimes guys might think because they've been in the street, right, and they might have done things in the street that everybody could be in the community and do like violence intervention prevention work. Like, what's your take on that? Because sometimes it could be a guy that thinks he might be capable of doing that work just because he might have that background, but he might not really have the skill set to be out there doing that kind of work. Do you think the work is built for everybody to be out there, or some people to be out there that might have the temperament to actually engage in that kind of work?
I'm glad you asked that question because that's a very good question, right? I believe that it's not for everybody. You understand what I'm saying? It's not for everybody, right? Because some people haven't matured to the point where they can deal with some of the things they might encounter. Some of us are traumatized from our own past events, right?
Mhm.
So those can be triggers when you out there. How do you deal with somebody telling you, man, fuck you, or woo woo? Because you got some dudes who not gonna tolerate disrespect. I got friends amongst me who I know will tell me that's not for me, but that's for you. And they support what I do. If I call them and ask them to, help me with something or participate in something, they're 100% hands on deck, but it's not something that they're going to do. Just because, and to further into your question, I don't think that everybody who's been to prison has the credibility to do the work. Just because you've been to prison doesn't make you official, right? You just
Right.
got caught. Let's get that understood. You just got caught. Just because you got caught don't make you official. So, I think that's another thing that's misconstrued also, in doing this work, that a lot of people equate because you did some time that you are official, right? Listen, I ain't heard nobody come out of prison yet and say I was a sucker. You understand what I'm saying? I haven't
Right.
heard that yet. But some of these
Right.
guys were per se, not able to hold their own in that environment, right? So
Right.
let's really talk facts. You feel what I'm saying? So how do you transfer that to a youth or to a person you trying to talk to, especially if they know your background for real? Because you can fool the man with the business suit on that's going to hire you in that office, but you can't fool the streets.
Right. Right. And that's exactly what I'm trying to say, because it's a lot of talk about credible messengers and who's credible, and I think people automatically that don't know about that, what really goes on the ground, will just assume just on paper that, okay, this person been incarcerated, that they've been hit before, right? That they should be out there actually doing the work. And then going back to your other point regarding trauma, like a lot of times we at least this is my opinion, we're allowing people to go into the communities that are still traumatized, right, to do the work, but they haven't really dealt with their own trauma. And so when they out there actually working with people that are traumatized, in a sense, they kind of like they may be passing off their trauma to other people that they haven't even addressed yet.
And I most definitely agree with that. I most definitely agree with that because even though I do the work that I do for a living, I do a lot of work that doesn't even pertain to my job, or don't pertain to my nonprofit. I do it just because I care. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I care because of the fact that, man, listen, I know what pain feel like. I know what loss feel like. I know that you can't bring a person back. I know that me hurting you isn't going to negate and make my feelings go away. I just spreaded my pain. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people think that, oh, if I go around and do something to such and such, then what it's going to do is going to make me feel better. Nah, you still going to miss your homie, or you still going to miss your family member, right? Because they not coming back.
What do you think about in terms of like, people trying to take ownership of, I mean, it's everybody's problem, but people like taking ownership like they got more of a claim to all right, I'm more, I started this violence intervention work. I should be the person that's recognized for it, or this person over here is taking credit for it. And at the end of the day, it almost we become almost as territorial as the people we trying to work with, and we on the opposite side of trying to provide the intervention and prevention work, but we almost become as territorial as the people that we working with to try to diffuse it.
Well, man, violence intervention work been going on since the beginning of time. History shows
Mm-hmm.
that. You understand what I'm saying? Wars have been fought, and someone came in and mediated. That's what a violence intervention interventor is, right? The person, your job is to try to mediate the situation solution. It's not going to stop. I don't care what title you put on. I think that some people want to be recognized because there's funding involved, because there's money involved. Let's get to
Right.
the point. Let's talk
Let's be
facts,
real
right?
about
We're talking
that.
about economics here, and
Yep.
economics drive everything, right? So if somebody heard that Doc got a $500,000 contract, when you time for you to renew it, they trying to get it too because they heard, right? Because they trying to spend that money. They want that income. There's no problem with it. So in order to try to get the contract, some people try to discredit others. I believe that, if you're doing the work, it'll be facing evidence shown. And, some things can't be logged. Let's put it like this. Some things can't be logged into a computer, right? We're dealing with different elements in the urban community that doesn't go by rules and regulations of a government board. So it's kind of hard to really balance and understand the work that someone is doing when some deals that you're making in these neighborhoods are backroom deals between men, and it's
Right.
understood that, man, this don't leave from right here, right? So
Right.
of course you could say that this person ain't doing that when we really never get the facts on it. Why? Because some things will be like that. I've handled them like that myself. So, and it wasn't for a job or a contract. I handled them just out of pure concern for my community and caring about the brothers that was involved.
OTL, Mafia Music. I don't really do the computers. I'm in the street with the movers. I'm on the block with the shooters. I'm on the block